Now, and the phone number is good if you can have it, but you can, if you have the link to the website, you can get that easily. But what we want is we want to have probably, somewhere like here, 15 to 20 different possible manufacturers that we could work with. And be broad. Let's say, for example, they sell some expensive treadmills, but also some cheaper treadmills. Just throw them on there. Right now, we want to we're casting a wide net. And we just want to put everything that's in this product category that we can find that could possibly be partners and vendors that we work with, and we've already identified that they are dropship friendly. And the way we've done that is by going to other competitors, identifying what brands they're selling, and then using that as a reference point. Now there are alternative strategies. For example, you could go to Google, you could just type in, you could just go directly to the PLAs, and then I could just go here, and I could just look for, but if it's not a nationwide brand, you don't want that. But online, if there could be some manufacturers who are advertising in this space. I don't see it very often, right? So, you're really going to see sites more like this, Indoor Cyclery. It's like people that are trying to create a site like this, and they're trying to figure it out. Most people don't already have it figured out like I do and I've done. This system and this process has generated millions of dollars. I've generated millions of dollars in revenue by having these storefronts. So this would be an example of what you're going to see more frequently than not. So Proform, we can see they're selling the different bikes, cardio equipment, bike accessories, and then boom, brands right here. So here's all the brands. This is a list. So I could just go down this list, and then I could just go and I'll fill out this entire sheet with all these brands right here. So this research is very easy. It's not difficult. It's very simple. It's critical that it gets done. This is the best part because you're setting the foundation for your business to grow. So if you try to build a house on like a swamp, it's probably going to sink, right? But if you build it on a rock, massive rock like Manhattan, then you could put an entire city on top of it and it's going to stand firm. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to build this really strong foundation with our research in order to get an idea for the marketplace. So before we've even done any actual creation, we already know exactly what we're getting into. And this allows us also to get a slight benefit of free trials and stuff. So if you already know what you want to do, then when you set up the accounts, you can start working immediately. So I wouldn't set up any accounts or anything yet. We're just figuring out what marketplace we're getting into. And then I'll do another review video under this, a quick review, just encapsulating phase one. But once you've gotten to this sheet, once you've made it through the entire process and you have 15 to 25 different suppliers and some preliminary information about them, you're ready to move on to phase two. I mean, you've done the research, you've decided on a niche, you've figured out what you want to get into, you've identified that there are some, you've gotten all the basic data that you can get. Now, can you get better? Yeah, you can always learn more, you can always get better, but it's not necessary in order to move to phase two. You just need to get this sheet completed with 15 to 25 suppliers and have a completed previous sheet that kind of made sure that everything was marked yes in the previous niche research selection. You just want to make sure that all those are marked yes. You figured out which one you wanted to get into, make sure SEM rush, all the search volume's good, and then fill out this supplier name worksheet. So I'll conclude this is the longest part of the research so far. So I'll conclude this video and we'll end phase one with another video following up, just doing a final review and introducing phase two. So congratulations on making it this far. You've done something. Just keep in mind that most people have gotten this, somewhat of this far. So a lot of people, they say, it's hard to find a niche, and that's where they stop, or they have some basic idea, and then it's not a matter of what you've learned. It's a matter of how you execute on the action steps that are given. So execution is going to play a major role moving forward. So this beginning part is a lot of kind of, research, learning, education, and moving forward, we're going to be doing a lot of action steps, and we're going to be taking massive action in order to garnish massive results. There is a concept from Tony Robbins. This is the first time I saw this, and he has like a whole video on it, on explaining it. Maybe I'll include this below just for your own personal reference. But he talks about really just how beliefs are created, and the basic premise is everyone has. You can imagine like four blocks, and everyone has in the top left block. You can imagine 4 blocks set up like next to each other, with some space in the middle. So there is in the top left block, there is kind of our potential, and everyone has unlimited potential, right? And then to the right of that, so an arrow pointing right to the next block, is our beliefs. So this is like what we believe to be true and what's possible. And then underneath of that, we have our action. And our action is based on our beliefs. So how we believe this or that will determine our action. To the left of that, so we're moving in a clockwise pattern. So an arrow pointing to the left is going to be our results. Our results are a direct relation of our actions. And our results, an arrow pointing back up to potential, our results will kind of breed back into that potential. So this is kind of how beliefs are created and how thinking is done. So what I'm trying to get across is the pattern of positive mental thinking or negative mental thinking. And what happens is people who have a positive mental belief system, so they believe it's possible, they're going to take massive action because they're bought in to the idea of being able to take action. They understand what they're doing and how the big picture relates to the action steps they're taking. So because they have this strong belief, they naturally take massive action. And guess what? They get massive results, which feeds back into their potential and which reinforces their belief. So their belief gets even stronger, their actions continue to remain massive, and their results continue to remain massive as well. So you can see this is an upward spiral pattern, whereas your results come in, your belief becomes stronger, and you take more action, leading to more results, and it can go that way. The opposite is also true if you take it on a downward spiral. So some people who have a limited belief, or they don't believe something is possible, then they take a tiny amount of action and they get a tiny result. And that feeds back in, and they still have potential, but that feeds back into their belief. Oh, I told you it wasn't possible, or I told you I couldn't do it. Then that belief becomes even downward again. It reinforces that negative belief. They take even less action, get even less results, and so forth. So bear in mind, throughout this process, you want to take massive action. And the best way to do that is to have massive belief. This process, this system, has benefited so many people in order to become online entrepreneurs, solo entrepreneurs, just being able to change their lives. So please, if at this point, if you're unsure about how to move forward, or if you're having some difficulties, reach out, contact me directly, and make sure that you know exactly what niche you want to get into. If you want a second set of eyes on it, if you're not sure, myself or one of our coaches will show you exactly and confirm for you everything that you've learned up until this point. So with that being said, we've completed phase 1. We'll do a quick review video after this, and then we're going to hop, skip, and jump all the way over to phase 2. Congratulations, and see you soon.